Hi, this is Björn Fritz, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my planned long bike tour through the south of Sweden this summer in 2025. So, as you may know, I'm a 59-year-old art historian living in the south of Sweden in Malmö, and this is me trying out my new drone early this spring or late winter in a typical Skåne landscape with willow trees and very flat ground, and the bike trail here is an old railway path, so it's absolutely straight and flat. This is the countryside I'm used to riding in, and I love it. However, in 2025 I will be going out on a much longer hike again. The stuff I'm bringing with me is the same as I have used many times before. It's my bike from Degavi, a bike shop in Lund and in Kristianstad who make their own frames, and then you can build the bike on top of one of their frames with whatever you want, and they are very helpful, and they helped me a lot putting together this bike that has worked wonders for me. And as you perhaps saw, I have some very regular Ortlieb panniers front and back, and I've got my Hilleberg Anian 2 tent, which is overkill for a summer trip in the south of Sweden, but that is the tent I own, so that is the tent I'll be using. This is not my first bike trip. My first longer bike trip with this bike, and in general, I did in 2022. That time I went 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles to Öland, so this is my bike in front of Långejan, the lighthouse on the southernmost part of Öland. It was a great trip. I have many fond memories of camping grounds, of hostels, both on Öland and on my way to Öland and back again. I had one major incident. I broke my chain last day on Öland, but I managed to get that fixed with the help of a great bike mechanic in Kalmar. The year after that I wanted to do a longer trip, so I decided to go to first Stockholm and then Gothenburg and then back again, riding up on the east coast side of Sweden and down on the west coast side. I did all my planning in Komoot. I was not all that experienced, so I did have to make a lot of replanning along the road, and I expect to have to do this time too. Komoot made that very easy. I had no major accident, though I did break a spoke, and I had to find a mechanic that could help me with that. It's very hard to fix a broken spoke out on the road by yourself, because you need some very precision tools to get the tire correct again, or the wheel correct again. On my way up there was a heat wave, that was hard, and on my way down it was raining a lot, so I got the complete set of Swedish summer weather. I spent most of my nights on camping grounds, hostels or hotels, so I had a very comfortable trip. That year I did plan a lot of exciting stuff. I wanted to make it a big year for myself. So first I ran Berlin half marathon in 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is good for me at this time of my life. And then I went on this bike trip, and as I got back I started writing my thesis. And that thesis took up all my time during 2024, so that's why I couldn't do any bike trips at all. I was out for day trips and one-nighters out with my tent, but nothing more. The rest of the time I was working on writing my thesis. I did, however, keep on planning my next tour, and in May this year I will defend my thesis, and I will be a doctor at last. This is very late in my career. The thesis is called Experiencing Game Worlds, Understanding Zelda and Mario Through the Lenses of Art, History and Phenomenology. Please note that I know how to spell through. You can see it on the cover of the book. It is published under a Creative Commons license, and it will be available online for free very soon if you're interested. It is about the experiences of being in landscapes in games, and that is very similar to my experience of walking and biking through the Swedish landscape, so there is a connection to what I'm doing. This year's trip is again 2,000 kilometers or 1,250 miles. I have got myself a decent collection of tools and spare parts, so I will be able to do a lot of repair works if I have to on the way. Hopefully I won't need to do anything of that. This time I'm going in the opposite direction, so up on the west side of Sweden and down on the east or middle parts of Sweden. I am avoiding Gothenburg and Stockholm. I will be going through a few Swedish cities and a lot of Swedish smaller cities. But I will mostly be staying out in the Swedish countryside, which is the part I really love. I have planned this in more days than earlier, so my first long trip to Stockholm and Gothenburg was 21 days long, but with one resting day in Stockholm. This time it's 25 days without a resting day. So I will be doing about 80 kilometers or 50 miles per day, which is enough to be able to do detours some days and to be able to stop and go to museums and other things along the way with no worries. I haven't booked any accommodations along the way. When I went to Stockholm, I did have to book the hostel in Stockholm months in advance to be sure to have a room. This time I can replan everything. There are no set time frames for anything here. I am still using Komoot. This planning is done by placing one goal at the Zorn Museum in Mora and the next one at Sundborn outside of Falun, and those two are places for famous Swedish artists that lived around the year 1900. And I've never seen those museums. I've never been to Dalarna where this takes place. And then I started playing around in Komoot with the rest of the planning. It is so much fun. Now, unfortunately, as many of you know, Komoot has been bought up by a company known for buying and destroying software. I was a big fan of Evernote once upon a time. The same company bought Evernote, and within 6 months it was completely unusable. And it still is today. I think it's still alive somewhere. And I'm afraid the same thing will happen with Komoot. They have laid off most of the people who used to work with Komoot. So it will be complete shittification of this app. I cannot recommend it. I will have to find something else to use next year. But for the time I'm sticking with Komoot because hopefully they won't be able to destroy it utterly in 2 months. But God knows. It's sad. But things move on. I can plan on maps of paper if I have to. So here's my planned trip, envisioned with the help of Rumba World. The first 2 days are in known territory, and then the rest of the time, up until I enter Lund on my way home, I will be in places where I have never ridden my bike at all. I'm looking so much to this. I really, really enjoy riding my bike. This is all about sitting on my bike, going through the landscape. It is not about going somewhere. I have gotten a little bit of new equipment, not much. Everything that has to do with camping and cooking and my bike, that is equipment I've had for quite some time now. I have, however, expanded on my videography equipment. So I've got a new iPhone, a 16 Pro. I've got my old GoPro camera that I mount at the front of my bike. It is a GoPro 7 Black, or GoPro Hero 7 Black, I think the name is. I use it just to get a front view from the bike from time to time. And I've gotten myself a cheap China-made microphone, a USB microphone that connects to my phone with one of those wind guards. So in my video from 2023, the wind took so much of what I was trying to say all the way through my ride. So this time, hopefully, I will get a little bit better sound. And that is a very cheap microphone. It's about 100 Swedish kronor. That's $10. So I don't have to be careful with it. If it breaks, it breaks. No biggie. And I did get a drone, though I did get the simplest, smallest one, a Hover X1 drone, which is sort of a flying selfie stick that can go in front of you or back of you or circling you, and that's about it. It's very fun to use, and with it I will be able to get more variations of the kind of shots I will be doing on my ride. My bike is, however, the same as it has been these last years. I've had it for 4 years now, and I've rode it a lot, and I had to change out a lot of parts that I worn out during that time. I'm training to do this riding. I'm not training excessively, so I do a little bit of running. I do a lot of biking, and I bike to and from work, so that's 20 kilometers to work and 20 kilometers home, 5 days a week. And I do a bit of workout at the gym to strengthen my back more than anything else. But that's the sort of preparations I do. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here by my computer dreaming about how I'm going out on a trip. So I will be leaving Malmö on the 1st of July 2025. If you want to see details of my trip, you can see them on Komoot. That's open to the public. And if you want to follow me as I'm out traveling, you can go to my Instagram account, and I will be posting regular updates there all the time. So that's everything for this time. I'm going out to do a bike trip again. It's still sunny outside. See you next time. Have a great day.